Kai. Welcome. You're on the line. What would you like to discuss today?
Called him before, but it wasn't really on this stuff. Basically, I have a chronic condition called MS. I think you might actually be the person who had it too. But
I have MS. Yeah, I do. I have multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, it's fun. That's actually not the main point. But basically, I have a elderly grandpa who is using essentially that over the holidays as saying it's like a punishment for not believing in God, which is fun. And just kind of went off on a tangent. But the other thing is he's not, I guess, as far as I know, that mentally sound. He's got Parkinson's. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure how to respond to that because I don't know if that's actually him or if it's more the disease. So I'm kind of like, how do I respond to that? Especially if it's going to be a recurring thing on holidays. Kind of concerned.
I'm really, really sorry. I mean, I don't know a great deal about Parkinson's and how it affects brain regions, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe Ben knows more, but I don't want to profess that I do. But irrespective of that, like even if he was a fully sound mind, you don't have to tolerate people who are essentially being abusive towards you. You have the ability to give yourself permission to remove yourself from situations like that in order to, retain some semblance of mental health. That it's a fair thing to do, to set that as a boundary. Even if he can't understand or respect that boundary, that is a fair boundary to set for yourself if this is something that's going to be persistent. Have you attempted to have a conversation with him expressing that this is something that you no longer want to pursue as a conversation with him?
Kind of. More of my relatives kind of barked at him for it, but then they also kind of told me afterwards that it's like, yeah, he's a really nice person. Well, he's still a really nice person outside of that, but like before that, I don't think this was ever something that he would have done. So it's like, is there a way to figure out if this is the Parkinson's? And I don't know, it kind of sounded like I just have to put up with it within reason. Once the topic kind of shifted, he stopped. But
are you able to disconnect yourself from the emotional aspect of it when it does occur? Because you know that him previously, before he had any sort of non-neurotypical degeneration that's causing this personality shift. Are you able to recognize that to yourself to help kind of soften that blow so that you're able to be present around him when things like this happen? Or is it something that's just really impactful to you emotionally?
It's more of a concern of hoping it doesn't come up. I mean, my MS is very invisible. It never actually came up until someone just asked how I was doing. And then I think it kind of clicked in his brain that was a factor for me, but it's pretty invisible and I'm hoping it will be indefinitely. I've had it since I was 14 too. So it's not like I'm 25 now. So it's not like this is a thing that, he would have just found out about. So he knew it long before he had Parkinson's. So it's just kind of like, how can I avoid this coming up maybe? And I think your response though, kind of just walking away from the situation to the best of my ability is probably going to be the best thing to do if it does come up again. But
unfortunately you can get dementia pretty significantly with Parkinson's. It's type of Lewy body dementia. So you get buildup of these Lewy bodies, which is kind of build up in certain brain areas. I pulled up where do they go because I want to make sure I got this correct. Because of course it starts off in the substantia nigra, so affecting movement, but then you do get dementia in the cerebral cortex, the limbic system, and the hippocampus. So not everyone would get the dementia, but it makes sense why you'd be getting certain responses like that.
Yeah, the limbic system helps regulate emotions a great deal. So he may not have appropriate emotional regulation if that's the case, if he's had an affected limbic system. And if it's affecting any other part of the cortices, especially frontal, then his reasoning skills. If you have a more flat emotional affect or you're losing some of your reasoning skills, then it would follow that you would be more apt to be more, abrupt and less reasonable in circumstances than you otherwise would had you had all your cognitive faculties present. So I'm sorry for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, it makes me feel somewhat grateful for my diagnosis because it can be controlled. I just also worry about like if it's drawing out something he thought about me before he had Parkinson's. I'm hoping it's more of just a shift in mentality that's entirely the disease, but not just drawing something he had some deep felt belief or something he always had. Hopefully that's not the case, but
don't internalize that, Kai. A, you couldn't know, and B, if even if it was like in some kernel somewhere, however it's manifesting now, if he's got these, this is affecting his cortical structures, and if this is infecting his midbrain structures, then whatever that kernel of truth may have been is now augmented to a degree that it wasn't anything like it was before. So you speculating into the past is an exercise in futility that's only going to make you feel a certain kind of way. And there's no way to substantiate it. So I know it's hard, especially with somebody you care about so deeply. But do your best to help compel yourself to not internalize that and focus instead on the aspects of your relationships that were genuine and substantiated by real life experience. That's what your relationships are. They're what's substantiated by real life experience, not by speculation. So it sounds like you guys had a lot of pretty great real life experiences, and that's what should be your focus when internalizing your perspective on who he is and what he meant to you and what you meant to each other.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to say thanks again, and seeing you on the call-in show and do all these things as someone with MS is really inspiring. So I do really appreciate it. And you too, Ben, for explaining the medical aspects to me.
Ben's pretty cool.
Thanks for calling in. I know that's really difficult.
Yeah. Fellow MS warrior. Mwah. Good luck, my friend. See you later. MS is such an invisible thing too. Like you don't realize until unless and until you experience it, which I hope people don't have to.